Hey, what's up, guys? Charles Van Mediva here. I'm the CEO of Patriot Pacific Financial Corp, and I'm here with two agents from Atlas Realty Group. Team lead William King.
How's it going?
Welcome. And Associate Ronaldo Wilson.
Hello.
Who also does loans, by the way, NMLS licensed. Yeah. So we got a hot topic, and it's kind of an awkward topic, painful topic, right?
Very painful.
We're recording this at the end of January 2022. Inventory levels are, I don't want to say at an all-time low, but they're pretty rough. And a lot of pre-approved buyers are driving around not getting offers accepted. Let's start with you. What do you see and what do you foresee with what we got right now?
Well, inventory has been a problem within real estate for the last year and a half, 2 years. We've always had a reduced amount of inventory. But now I think it's coming to the point now where buyers are putting in offers 20, 30, 40,000 over asking because there's only 1 or 2 homes that matches their criteria, especially in San Diego County. More buyers are moving towards, the IE because of that reason.
I read a statistic that 58% of all offers now are over asking price. Let me ask you, in your opinion, are those buyers going to regret buying these homes at the prices they're buying them at over asking price? Are they going to regret that or no?
I don't think so.
You don't think so, huh?
I don't think so. We're in a great market where I don't foresee this market going down anytime soon. I think there's still a lot of probability to make profit in this current market in the future as well.
Yeah, I also agree with that. Even though someone offers over asking, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the value. That doesn't indicate value. Value is indicated based off of a professional appraisal, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, if a house was listed at $500,000, we go in, we offer $550,000. That does not mean we pay $50,000 over value. If the appraisal comes in at $550,000, you still bought the house for market value. It's just that you bought it for over list price. The list price is just what the seller and the listing agent came up with to determine the sale price of the home. So I don't think buyers will be upset for paying over asking prices as long as their appraisal come in within, a relatively good amount. I wouldn't pay $550,000 if the appraisal came in at $475,000. That'd be crazy to me, But if it came in around $440,000, $445,000, you can recoup $10,000 in California market within a month or two.
What is the answer for what we got going on right now? I mean, there's a handful of homes for sale, Temecula, Murrieta,
right. Yeah.
What are you telling your buyers? What's the answer?
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Just don't give up. Keep looking. Keep putting offers in. Keep putting offers in on homes, and one of them will stick. But the most important thing you have to remember is that you cannot give up as a buyer. Just know you're going to get outbidded 2, 3, 4 times. That's very realistic to be outbidded.
So you can't wear your heart on your sleeve. You have to take some rejection.
You can't. You have to look at this as a number game up front initially. Don't take this one house that you like and say that, oh my God, if I don't get this one, I'm done. Because at the end of the day, it's about you creating wealth for yourself and your family. And it's you're getting out of your situation from renting. We all know renting is bad. Don't rent. Okay.
Some miscellaneous facts I rattled off the internet here. Real estate no rada. 416,800 single-family sales projected for 2022, which is a decline of 5%.
Is that nationwide?
These are California figures.
Just California?
What I can tell. Median price in California, $834,400 in 2020. That's an increase of 5.2%.
What's the median price again?
$834,000 and some change. Some more facts. Only 24% of home buyers could afford to buy a median-priced home in California in the third quarter of 2021, which we just ended.
Yeah.
Builders can't keep up with the demand. We all know that. 71% of owners felt this was a good time to sell a home. What do you think about that?
I agree. It's a great time to sell a home right now. Yeah. You have a lot of buyers and not enough inventory. So right now is a perfect time to sell a home. I know everyone thinks it's a great idea to leave California. If you decide to leave, it's a perfect time to be able to profit. And that's what's so great about this market is you can sell a house here in California and profit a lot of money and move to another state
and buy
cash.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years later, hate that state and come back to California.
Yeah.
It almost feels like it's the market that we're in is, tell me if I'm wrong, is a personal preference for every single individual person. There's no rule of thumb. some people might, like you say, that, hey, I'm just going to up and sell and go live in Idaho or wherever and just take all that money. And others are like, well, I'm not going to sell because the values are going up. What's your take on that? I mean, what can we do to move things along and get inventory levels higher? What can we do?
Well, some people love California market and some people hate it. It all depends on what your long-term goals are for your financial situation. If you're the person that wants to have a secure, portfolio towards retirement, you want to invest in California real estate. You want to. If you don't care about that, you want to save as much money as possible, and that's your form of preparing for retirement, you're probably not going to live in California because you can go, a couple states over and have a mortgage of $1,200. And if you have the same income, you can save a lot more per month and put that away towards something else. So it all depends on what your goals are, what your lifestyle is, and how you plan on preparing for your retirement as an individual. So it is perspective. California real estate market is completely perspective. It's all based on the individual and what their goals are. There's no right or wrong answer. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Me personally, I love it. I'm never leaving California. And that's only because I'm the type of investor that sees the appreciation in California continuously rising because of supply and demand. There's a lot of people going out of California, but there's also a lot of people coming into California. Especially with our military, we stay in California. Yeah, there's 5 military bases within 50-mile radius of the Inland Empire. Those bases aren't going nowhere.
What about the impact of interest rates having gone up? Rates have gone up about 0.5%, right, give or take. Yeah, conventional rates are up in the mid 3s. How is that affecting what's going on?
It's affecting the builders a lot more because now I find myself that I'm getting a lot more clients that's coming from builders because the builders aren't able to offer like great rates. So it's such a more profitable way to go with a resale home because then you're able to shop that broker or loan officer to be able to get better rates.
Has the fact that rates have gone up made a lot of people back away from making offers?
No. It hasn't deterred people from making offers. Now, the reason rates increased in the first place was the Fed's idea was trying to control inflation levels. Because as you mentioned, median home prices in California is around $834,000, and only 24% of people can afford that in Q3 of 2021. $834,000 is a lot of money, right? Sure. So in order to hedge inflation, we increase interest rates, so therefore capital does not come by as easy, right? However, because the amount of people that live in California, our population is continuously growing, in the last 2 years, based on census data from 2021, California has increased over 12%. And that's a lot of people, okay? And those people will need homes.
So the interest rates going up hasn't. We've heard. I mean, I run Patriot Pacific Financial Corp. We're a mortgage brokerage here in Marietta, and we've seen some buyers back away. They're like, "Whoa, okay, 3.5." Yeah. To them, that's a high interest rate. I'm like, "Oh my God!" I mean,
but that's relative.
Just two, 3 years ago, we were in the 4s and the 5s, right?
Yeah, and 10 years ago, we was in the 6s.
Right. So in fact, I did some statistics. Right, $600,000 purchase price, 20% down. So you got a loan amount of $480,000. The difference between a 2.5 interest rate conventional loan and a 3.5 interest rate, the monthly payment difference is $196 a month.
But $200 could make or break someone.
At a $600,000 price point, you think that's?
It could. Well, because people don't look at it from a holistic point of view. They look at that $200 and what we're taking out of our pocket monthly.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like preferential. It's preference for each person. Yeah. Some people are going to say $196 a month. I'm going to figure it out with adjusting my budget. I'm going to not do this, this, and this. I might cut out this membership or this subscription, or I'm not going to eat out every day or whatever. But for others, it's like, oh my God, $200 a month, I'm not going to do it.
Correct.
It's a personal preference.
It's a personal preference. And it's also about the education that buyer has received from their professional advisors.
So what would you tell your buyer $196 a month higher to buy this home today compared to September, October? What would your professional advice be to that buyer?
Let's go to the closing table. Let's look at your budget. Let's figure out where you can save an additional $200 to make this work. Because at the end of the day, you're buying an appreciating asset that's going to make you money in the next 2-3 years. That $200 is going to be well worth the investment of you cutting off your Spotify and Netflix. Let's get it. All those additional things we watch for subscriptions, it probably adds up to $200.
Even if you never refinance later.
Even if you never refinance later, you're still going to end up making money.
So, and he hit a very good point, and that's the big thing is education.
Yeah.
Educating them, because you can say, "Oh, I'm not going to go for it because it's $196 extra," but then you go live on base where they're going to take your full BAH, where it's $3,200.
Sure.
And now you're losing all those funds, or you go rent an apartment for, let's say $2,500. You might be saving $200 a month, but now, what are you gaining at the end of it? You don't gain anything.
It's a great point. In the way I would look at it, if I was a buyer getting into the market, that $196 a month, which is $2,400 a year, right? Is my property going to appreciate $2,400 in the whole year?
Correct.
Well, of course it is, right? In California.
Of course
So
it is.
it's almost as if you're putting away in a piggy bank, you're putting $200 a month in here, and you're probably going to gain back, 5% of
Probably
the price of the home?
6% of the price of the home.
Which makes that $196 a month look negligible, right?
What was appreciation rates last year in California? Around like 12%,
Yes.
On average, between 12 and 18% in California.
So what we're saying is interest rates having gone up should not be a deterrent.
It should not be a deterrent. Interest rates is going up. It's just an indication of the Federal Reserve trying to hedge inflation. That's all it really is. But it's not going to stop people from buying because of supply and demand. There's literally a limited supply of inventory, and we're still in an extreme seller's market. People often ask me all the time, are we in a buyer's market yet? This is a good time to buy? Well, my answer to that is, anytime someone asks me that, is it a good time to buy? The answer is yes. It's always a good time to buy because it's never a good time to waste money on rent. So it's always a good time to buy. We just got to make it make sense with your financial plan.
Whether
you buy in the up market or down market?
That's a good point. What is the single most impacting factor is causing inventory levels to be low? What would that be?
Land.
Single land. Lack of it.
There's no more land. There's no land.
Okay.
And then sellers aren't selling because they're like, okay, I bought my house 10 years ago for $380. My mortgage is $1,800. Yeah, I can sell it for $700,000, but where am I going to go? Go buy another house for $800,000 and increase my monthly liabilities by a crap ton?
We've all had these conversations, right? Where I was sitting there thinking, how can we, in our own small way, help move this along and get us out of this rut of no inventory?
Yeah.
And some interestingness going on that you may or may not be aware of in California, a law that was passed beginning of this month, January, Senate Bill 9. And as I understand it, one of the things that is a part of that is a homeowner could split off a certain amount of their land, put a dwelling on it, additional dwelling on it, and split that off and sell it. Would that not create more inventory?
That would create more inventory, but it's a Band-Aid to the solution at the end of the day.
How so?
I mean, because number one, everyone doesn't have the actual land mass on that property to do that. And there's not enough people that have big enough lots to do that. And then when you're selling those things off, you're only selling off ADUs at 2 bedrooms or a 1 bedroom. It doesn't fit for the average family size in California.
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, a lot of people these days are kind of backing away from the big house, the 4,000 square foot. They just want affordability.
Yeah.
In some of these areas, I mean, you're right. A lot of the suburban areas, 8,000 square foot lot, there's probably not much room to do anything, especially if it has. But then you get out to Wildomar and Menifee and maybe Hemet.
I think it's based on location, right? Because when you do have people come into Wildomar, Hemet, Paris, the Inland Empire area, they're looking for a bigger family size home. But if you go to like San Diego County, where they're used to being on smaller lot, it's
being on top of each other.
Yeah, it's very reasonable and feasible to do that, where you can build those ADUs and be able to split the lot, and you will get buyers to help with the inventory that's going to go in.
If you had 500 people in 1 month in all of those areas, do that successfully.
Yeah.
You just created 500 more homes in MLS for inventory.
Correct.
Yes.
It's definitely something that we shouldn't ignore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think.
I agree. It's something that we shouldn't ignore, and I think more homeowners should be educated on, ADUs, additional dwelling units, and how that can benefit them and maximizing the profit on their home without leaving their home. I think that's something that everyone should exercise and actually get educated on.
Another thing that I've been thinking about a lot, and this isn't new, is if Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, Department of VA would make it easier for buyers to buy condos. but not having all these restrictions
All
in
these restrictions.
condominiums.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
lot of
that
restrictions.
condominium's not FHA approved because the budget is messed up, or there's too many delinquencies in the HOA, or whatever.
Yeah.
The occupancy rates are. If that was eased, you could have a lot more sales.
You have a lot more inventory.
Inventory, because people want to buy condos, right? A lot of
Yes.
people are like, hey, I don't want a big old yard. I just want my own little home. I think that's something that we ought to look at as a industry, is put some heat on those those agencies
Correct.
to ease up on their requirements. Make it easier to go get a condominium complex VA approved.
Yes.
And then you might free up 100 sales. Who knows? What's your thoughts on that?
I totally agree, because most people that we work with, for the most part, have an average budget here in California. And for the most part, a lot of military families don't have 4 or 5 kids. It's only husband, wife, maybe 1 or 2 kids. And a condo will work for them. And being priced out of single family homes, a condo is a really good solution. It's a really good idea. In fact, we literally just went into escrow with 3 condos this week, and it was all military clients. And there were 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and they were well under $500,000. And that stays well within the service member's BAH range, So that could potentially help solve the problem if these governing bodies like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Department of Veterans Affairs, if they loosen up their restrictions on what an approved condo is. At the end of the day, dude, it's a house, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's your own place.
It's your own place. But there's a lot of restrictions. And I get they have those things for a reason, which I'm not sure why the reason, but rules are made because something happened in the past, which created a rule, of course. But I think if those restrictions were lightened or loosened, then that would create a lot more inventory within the market.
Yeah.
You know?
Not to mention, not going off on a tangent, a lot of apartment complexes could be converted into condominium projects, right? Where you can have ownership.
Where you can have ownership. That takes a lot with zoning laws. You know, anyone that owns multifamily complex and they have X amount of apartment buildings, they convert them all into condos. I mean, granted, their profit will be out the roof, but the process to go through the city and the county to get that converted from an apartment to all condos and getting all different APNs, all those things, it's a time consuming and a headache. It's time consuming and a headache to deal with, number one, government officials. That's a complete headache in itself.
Any last words of wisdom, Mr. Ronaldo?
For now, right now, it's with the inventory so low. That means the property values are so high. It's a great time to take money out of those properties and use them for future investments. If holding on to that property is something that you want to do because you don't know where to go, but you want to use some of the equity that you've built over the years, right now is a perfect time. And you don't have to do a cash out refinances. There's other loan products out there like a home equity line of credit that you can use to use that and go out and buy investments
and invest somewhere else
and invest that
in more affordable areas.
Yeah, more affordable. If you have $200,000 in your house sitting there, hey, take out that HELOC and take that money to the East Coast and buy a house cash and create a cash flow. Create more income for yourself. So that's actually a good point. Don't let the equity just sit there because money sitting in the bank does what?
Nothing. And money sitting in the house is the same thing. So
there's nothing for you.
Let's take that money out and put it in the index fund. Put it in Put it in the stock market.
Put it in the stock market.
Just use
grow the money.
Grow the money. Let
use
the
that
money work
to
for
grow.
you.
So now that property is gaining you twice as much because you're gaining it from the home value going up, from the value assets appreciating, and also in the stocks. So there's a lot of ways out there to increase profitability to gain financial freedom. And right now you have an asset that can help you get to that point.
Correct.
That's good intel. Thank you, gentlemen. Good stuff.
Real quick, Charles, before we wrap up, it's one thing to talk about inventory levels, but I just want to show exactly what we mean by inventory levels.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look and I'm going to show the actual MLS. And the MLS is the multiple listing service. It's the platform that majority realtors, brokers, and any other person in real estate utilize to sell homes and list them for sale so everyone can see it. It's not for public view. You have to have a membership to it. But I want to take a look at the MLS. And we're going to go right over to search residential, and we're going to go to detail, and we're going to talk about the average home price here in Temecula for a single-family residence. Okay.
There's going to be a bum drop right now.
Yeah, so I'm going to put in Riverside County, and I'm going to look in the city of Temecula. And this is today as of January 25th, 2022. So as we can see, without putting in any price point right now, there's 88 homes for sale in Temecula, and that's being demonstrated right here, 88 matches. Now, if we put in the average price point, let's say from 400 to 600,000.
It's like the hot price point. Huh?
Yep, that's a hot price point. We now see that there's only 16 homes for sale in the city of Temecula itself. Only 16 homes. You know how many people want to move to Temecula? You know?
I want to move to Temecula.
Correct. I want to move to Temecula, but 16 houses, you're going to be in a multiple bidding situation.
Right.
In that average price point. That's Temecula. Let's look at Marietta. So if you drive a little bit farther to Marietta, there's 19 homes for sale. Okay? And that's at the average price point. And if you go to Menifee, here in Menifee, you see there's 58 homes for sale. You have a lot more to do in Menifee or to buy versus living in Temecula, Marietta. What's the distance between the two cities? Maybe 10 minutes?
15-minute drive.
15-minute drive?
15.
So a 15-minute drive could potentially get you a much better home and you're not overbidding.
Right.
But some people are stuck on a particular location and they're constantly getting outbidded. If you find yourself in a situation where you're constantly getting outbidded, considering moving your location. Oceanside. This is a very popular area. Oceanside. Sure. Okay. Let's put in San Diego County.
400 to 600.
And let's put in Oceanside. Okay, so just in Oceanside, there's 7 houses for sale in Oceanside. 7 between the 400 to 600,000. Only 7. Oceanside, San Marcos. This is close to base too, and very popular city that people want to live in. San Marcos, California. There's 1 house for sale between 400 to 600,000. Only 1.
Amazing.
Now, last one we're going to go to is just the city of San Diego. City of San Diego.
Probably none.
There's 13 houses for sale in the city of San Diego.
Surprising.
Between 400 to 600,000. But what does those houses really look like? You know, at that price point in San Diego, we know that's probably going to be something that's not as desirable. You know, 700
square feet.
Yeah. So here's one right here, Mahogany Vista Lane. It's just pretty. This is a pretty nice house. I'm very familiar with it. I actually went to show this property this weekend. It's 3-bedroom. Let's look at Mahogany Vista Lane. Okay. Whoever's representing this seller, and if you're listing this property, this is not any offer for solicitation to your sellers. Okay. But Mahogany Vista Lane in San Diego, this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for $575. Okay. $575 in San Diego is pretty good for a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom. However, I showed this house over the weekend. I spoke to the agent. This agent already has offers at $700,000.
Good for you.
So this property is not even an option under $600,000. You know, and this is really nice. It tells you exactly what this offers, and I'm going to show you where they're at. So
yeah, I'm
going to go to the link. I'm still showing my screen. I'm going to the link. Mahogany Vista. This is online bidding. Okay, and now we're going to see exactly where their bidding is at. Okay, current bid, last bid, $685. Okay, and it was listed at $575. Now they're at $685 for the highest bid, and the bidding has ended. Okay, so back in San Diego, there's really nothing for you to view. You know,
in San Diego Metro, like
San Diego Metro, and desirable areas, and low crime areas where people actually want to live. You know. We're not talking about the high crime in the outer city of San Diego. We're talking about in the center of San Diego where people want to live and can live. There's nothing available. You know, this is a multiple bidding situation in almost every city in Southern California. But if you go back to Menifee, like we said, sacrifice, take an hour drive to work, hour 10. I understand it's painful, it's dreadful, but you're going to get a much better, superior property if you move to Menifee, if you move out to Hemet, if you move out to Winchester. That could solve your problem as a buyer. You got to give to get. If you want a house, you got to give a little something to get that house.
Yeah, you're not going to get everything you want at this time.
Yeah, you're not getting everything you want at this time. The market's too crazy.
Move a little further out from the area.
Yep.
Good info, man. Thank you. So how do they get a hold of you? Somebody wants to get some help in selling or buying a home. How do they get a hold of you? Ronaldo, start with you.
So I can be reached at www.atlasrealtygroup.org.
If you guys want to get a hold of me, my number is 760-212-5507. Give me a call, send me a text. If you just want to talk about it, no obligations. I'm always open for a conversation and education to talking to homeowners as well as sellers about the acquisition or disposition of your real property.
Awesome. Thank you for your insight, gentlemen. That was some good conversation, good content.
Thank you.
A little depressing in some senses, but there's always some light at the end of the tunnel.
Correct.
And I'm Charles Van Mediva, CEO of Patriot Pacific Financial Corp. right here in Murrieta, California, and we'll see you on the next show.